Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on two ways, a map we haven't seen in a while. Today we've got DotSpy playing as the 101st US Airborne, and he's going up against ISI playing as the 39Y Soviet, not as good as 79Y division. So we'll go through the deck reviews, and then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for ISI, and he's playing 39Y. He's a big 39Y fan, evidently. This is a bit different to the other ones, so we'll just go through it all, because it's been a while anyway. Yeah, so 39Y, basically the way you want to play the div is it's very slow, and then you just kind of grind the enemy down with, you've got the IFVs and BMP2s and what have you, and then you get your AA net set up, and then you slowly build up the T80B, T80BV blob, which you don't actually get that many of. But if, one of these is basically a minute's income, so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 minutes income on tanks, which is a quarter of the game. So you don't need that many. In terms of the division's power, it really is just a weaker version of 79Y, especially given that 79Y recently got the anti-tank gun and stuff like that. I think the only tool, well, in a previous video I said the only tool 39Y gets that nobody else gets is the Sturm S. But actually, somebody correctly pointed out that 9th East German gets the Sturm S as well. So yeah, they just don't have anything going for them really. Well, I suppose they're the only Soviet division with the Sturm S, maybe. Although 31st got it added, maybe. I mean, we know they have max range ATGMs, but yeah, it's different. They don't have the Sturm S. So 3 cards of supply makes a lot of sense when you want to fight a long game, right? That much is evident, and you don't have many options, so it's just 2 trucks, 1 tracked, or you can go 2 tracked, 1 truck, but the trucks are better than the tracked one. This is just nice and cheap. 600 supplies, enough to resupply your cubs twice, for example, if you turn off fuel. So yeah, it's a nice cheap one. Sometimes you have 25 points left over, right? Otherwise the trucks are a safer bet because they carry a lot more supply. And then in terms of CVs, so we've got 3, 4, 5, 7 CVs. So what you can do is go to 6 and bring these because they're only 40 points. And then that means that you can just buy 2 at the start and you can be all good on CVs for the rest of, at the start of the game you can buy 2 of these for 80 and you'll save 10 points. 2 of these instead of 1 of these. The only issue is that you might run out of CVs later in the game, but it's like, who cares? These 1-pointers, okay. So infantry, so in terms of your infantry CV options, you've got 4 men with RPGs and smoke, or 4 men with just RPGs and no smoke. So that's not ideal. So yeah, this is kind of the one to bring, but it's a shame it doesn't have more strength. In terms of your transport options, right, so this is tracked. The one he had was tracked as well. This is tracked, so if you don't want to be too far behind on CVs, you can bring this in the BTR 60PB, and not only is it actually cheaper now, but it will get there faster. And this is still a decent vehicle for 30 points. This isn't so bad, but I mean, it's on a CV anyway. I personally would be bringing this. But I don't play that much 79Y. Then we've got Motostrelki Metis, and I would also be bringing that in the BTR 60PB because it's a very nice vehicle for 30 points. You can just send it round the side and go snipe some AA with it or something. Played against a guy called Skate, you might have heard of him, and he taught me the ways of using wheeled APCs to go around the side and snipe AA. It's actually pretty effective, because if it dies you don't care because it's 30 points, but if it gets through and it gets the AA, then that's huge, and the enemy has to defend the flanks, and you can just send them down obscure roads or whatever. But I think it's useful. And the off-road speed's better than the gas, right? Obviously you can sell the gas. But this is coming in a BTR 60PB, right? So 2 cards of BMP2 Motostrelki, so that's the core of it basically. 39Y only gets 2 cards of BMP2s. These don't come in BMP2s, these don't come in BMP2s, so it's not ideal. And then Motostrelki BMP in the B. So this is different because it has a better RPG, so it costs 5 points more. And yeah, this bad boy is really good against infantry, but it has no smoke, so that's kind of difficult to. It dies easily, basically. But 3 armor, actually, it can survive quite a bit. Like 1 hit, and then you just reverse it, and it will do a lot of damage to infantry with that grenade launcher. So Peri RPO, basically, so yeah, you can use these. RPO is not so bad, actually. RPO is probably better than Saperi regular. I kind of flip-flop on that a lot. But, like the Flash, I don't know, but... Or like the hand flam patron, stuff like that, just don't bother bringing those. The Halfa, don't bother bringing that. But the RPO is not bad at all, actually. It's a lot better. So basically, if you bring it at no vet, you've got to ensure that there's always a regular infantry in front of you to take the hit, and then you just shoot the RPOs and run off. If you want less micro, you can just bring it at 1 vet. Then the Conkers, so yeah, you can bring this in the US if you want, because this tends to be in a place where you don't really need a BTR 60 PB. And it's it's expensive enough as it is, I suppose. So yeah, it's no problem bringing that in the US. And then the 30mm grenade launcher, which is very, very good. It's a must bring. So Artie, so he's got 2 upvetted, 1 vet Akatsuya, so that's the conventional way of doing it. Or you can down vet this and put the grad in, which is what he did in the other deck review, right? In the other ISI 39Y video. Either one can work. I personally would go for this for 1v1, simply because as much as I want to bring the grad, it's it reloads kind of slowly, it's very supply hungry, and yeah, just don't bring the Uragan, it's really kind of bad. It's a shame, really. It reloads in like 4 minutes. This reloads in 2. Both 1 per card. It's cheaper, right? Does a bigger boom, right? And I think it's more supply efficient because, well, at least it will use less supply because it fires so much slower. Tanks, so not much to talk about here. Basically, these can be useful to sneak around the sides and mess people up. Or you can use a BTR 60 PB, I guess. But otherwise, this one is 2,800 meters range, and the Kokon's kind of fast. It does take a while to reload, and it's only got a salvo length of 1. So I personally actually prefer this, which also has 2,800 meters range. And yeah, the reload's basically the same, right? But actually, why do I prefer it? I mean, it's got good stealth, and you get more of them. To be honest, yeah, this is good. I've had this used against me. It's actually kind of hard to deal with. Then, yeah, TATBVs, which can survive 2 TOW2s from the front, which is relevant against 101st Airborne. And TAEBs, which cannot survive 2 TOW2s from the front. It's interesting that there's like a 15-point difference there. 6 side armor means it'll get side shot by a Conkers or an ITO, whereas this will actually survive a side shot from either of those. And yeah, the CV tank, so you can either get the good one or the, you can save 15 points if you want, but whatever, maybe 2 TOW2s will hit you. So in terms of recon, like the Razvedka Saperi, I would be bringing them at 1 vet in the BTR 60 PB because your deployment's slow anyway, so not having that is a real big problem. And then this one I'd also be bringing at 1 vet because you don't need 12 recon infantry to start with, and I'd rather have guys that can actually fight. Having said that, this has mediocre stealth, it's supposed to not be in vision, so maybe that can be at no vet. But this one, particularly, if you actually want to use it for satcheling, it needs to be at 1 vet. And you don't have any airborne forward deployment in this division, which makes it really, really tough against divs like 101st. So you need to go fast, right? And this is 90 and this is 100. So recon helo with 40% ECM. Yeah, I mean, it's alright. I kind of prefer this one. And then there's a very funny 39Y opener where you buy this and you bring the SU-25 Rocket 1 and the SU-25 AT, and you go brr But he's not brought the SU-25, so I don't really understand why this is in the deck. He's not going to do that. Because other things you can bring is like this, so your tanks have exceptional optics, because you just put this with your tanks, click at Shift F, click on your tanks always have exceptional optics. And then, so like, I personally, I know he's probably not going to do it, but he plays more 39Y than me. I personally would build it like that, so you've still got 3 recon helos, and you've got exceptional optics for your tanks, so your tanks can actually see. AA, so this is a 3-point slot, so this is not worth it. For 5% accuracy, you lose 2 planes. So, yeah, I would down bet this and get rid of that one. The OSAs I always have trouble with. I personally would prefer the Strela 10M at 1 vet, because you get 5 of them, and it's still got... It can still shoot at the Apache, right? This will outrange the Apache a little bit. But what happens if you get hit by loads of seed? You know, this is seed proof, and it's cheaper as well. So that's how I would build that. And then the helis, so these are 1-point slots. I personally, so like AA Helo can be useful against helicopters, but it's not useful against planes. I personally prefer this one because it's got the bigger rocket, so it shoots them straight away, and then you just go reload. And it is so much cheaper than these, which have 20% ECM, and then they just get hit by the plane and die. So you might as well get the cheaper one, in my opinion. Because, yeah, okay, the gun, but, you know, when are you in gun range? If you are, usually you just die anyway. So I would prefer this, save myself, what is that, 55 points per one. It's just me, though. And then, yeah, I don't think these are that good. So I would swap this out for the rocket one and the AT one. And then, yeah, you can still open with a recon helo at the start. And then you follow it up with, you know, 2 of these, basically. Or 1 of these and the SU-27. Or 1 of these and 1 of these, right? And you just go kill the entire enemy's deployment. It's very, very funny. People don't expect it for some reason, because when the game first came out, that was how you played 39Y. Just always opened SU-25 and recon helo and just tried to kill everybody. But that's that. I mean, these bombers, they've got 30% ECM now, but the reload time's very long, and, you know, I don't rate it, really. It drops from quite high up. People just move. This is pretty good against infantry, and this will kill your tanks, so that's how I would do it. But I don't play that much 39Y. Going up against him is DotSpy, who's actually a pretty good player. He's pretty high ranked, actually. I don't know what rank he is right now, but I've certainly seen him up there. I'm rank 1, did I mention that? Oh, he's gone up to 10. I have to change my name. He's gone up to 10 now. Keeps going up. Keeps saying he's a really, really bad player, but he's ranked 10. You call him out on it. He's like, no, I am bad. Anyway, DotSpy, he's ranked 22 at the moment. He was on the first page at some point. So yeah, he's a very good player. And he's playing 101st Airborne. So, yeah, we'll go through this tab by tab. This day, there's not really that much to talk about. There's really only one way to do it. Although I've noticed he's done it wrong. So, yeah. So 2 cards of supply can make sense on this div. This has been upvetted, which is obviously not great, because you just lose supply for no reason. But I think that might be because of the way the deck is imported. And yeah, so helo supply, ground supply, you can swap this one out for the Chinook to get more cost-efficient helo supply. Then you've got the 3 per card Humvee CV. That's much preferable to the helo CVs, which just die in the air to enemy jets. Then we got a card of Aero Fire Team 84, which is kind of worth having, just because, so this is nice and cheap, and you use it for flank defense. And, you know, if the vehicle comes past you, you blow it up with the AT4s. The 50 cals are way worse than the MMGs now, because like this is like so much cheaper. It's half the price and has the same HP. So like the 30 cal is much better. 7.62. Aero Engineers. So what you can do with this div is kind of like 2-vet all your infantry and still have enough infantry. But I've noticed he's brought 2 cards at toe 2, so maybe not. the other thing you can do is, so basically this is super duper duper useful. I would actually rate this over the MMG team, because if you want to hold ground, you've got Fire Team 84 anyway, so you want this, because it's 12 per card, and it one-shots 3 armor. So why wouldn't you want that? It's very, very strong. So yeah, satchels, arrow rifles, dragon spam, in a way. And yeah, you can 2-vet these, and you'll still have 15, as opposed to, you know, what is that, 22? And, you know, you've still got way more infantry here, like, and you've got all these guys, so, you know, at the very least, up-vet this one, and then the first 5 out will be at 2-vet, and you only lose 2 availability in exchange for that capability. Then, yeah, so 2 cards of Toad 2 can be quite common. Just to shoot tanks, right? But the TABV will survive 2 Toad 2 front hits. And then the air rifles 84. So these are 13 guys. It's a pretty strong squad. You can also 2-vet this, because like how many of those are you going to be buying when they're 30, you know. Then you've got the Green Berets ODA, and basically special forces benefit more from up-vet. So it's often the case that people will max vet these guys, because how many are you buying anyway? And then they, you know, they get a lot better, but the bomber will still kill them. So that's something to think about. But at the very least, I'd be up-vetting some of this infantry. And then, yeah, Hilo CV, 12 strength. And yeah, the mule we spoke about, we swapped that out for the 50 cals, right? So this is kind of weird, like 3 howitzers at different veterancies. So basically you want mortars for smoke, so you just get rid of that and then get 6 mortars for smoke, because how else are you supposed to move across the map into the enemy BMP2? You need the mortars for smoke, very important. And then tanks, so usually people bring, because like look, you've already 6, 11, 17. I mean, wouldn't you rather have the meeps? That's how most people will build it. But, you know, you can do it the other way if you want. So yeah, the tanks, because you don't get much anti-infantry in this div. Or, you know, you don't get many tanks, right? So so in terms of your recon healer options, this is exceptional 3 per card with rockets. And then this is exceptional 2 per card with Hellfire. So this is kind of hard to keep alive. What a lot of people do is just bring this one, which is very good 2 per card with the ECM and stuff, because you use this to, it goes in front of your Apache, and then your Apache doesn't, you know, and it can take a hit, whereas this would die to 1 man pad. So honestly, this is much better. Humvee Aero Scouts, so this is 10, so it's like even more infantry, right? Then this is a thing, right? So your Delta Force, they're in a Special Forces Humvee, and they'll go faster the higher vet they are, because of the transport. So you want 2 of them at max vet. This is the first guy I've seen who actually does it properly. So credit to him. He must watch my videos, or, you know, he has a brain. So you want the first 2 out to be at max vet so that they can go super fast. But then the other guys you might as well bring at 2 vet, because, well, how many Delta Force are you buying at the start of the game, right? They can just be a little bit slower. After the start of the game, it doesn't matter too much anyway. So yeah, they go at regular vet. You can even bring them in the grenade launcher Humvee if you want. Oh wait, was he already doing that? I think he was already doing that. So yeah, because you'll get grenade launchers. Because like, but this actually does have like a really high DPS because of the special forces-ness. But yeah, this is a little bit cheaper. It's got a grenade launcher. It will still be 2 vet. So yeah, that's a way to get some more anti-infantry capability. And so is this. The Pivad's 20mm. This is your anti-infantry. Just unload this in front of people and just shoot them. The Stinger should be coming in the Mule 50 cal for the same reason, so that you've got a bit more anti-infantry. It's literally just a 50 cal on a bit of wood. And then yeah, the Chaparral to try and shoot planes and fail. Can up-vet it if you want, because like who's bringing 5 chappies? But yeah, I mean it can be worth. Well, you kind of need it, even though it just misses. Oh, well, okay, it's just constantly out of range. Helis, so this is where the magic happens, I suppose. So, Tow Cobras, the DAP, which is really good now. Special Forces helicopters don't go faster than Special Forces cars. but this used to have 8 and this used to have 10 HP, but now they're both 8. So yeah, you might as well bring this, and it makes the autocannon on it really, really good because it's max vet special forces. So you see that's 95% accuracy, that's 65% accuracy, it's the same gun. It's because of the veterancy, and that's the chance to hit in a salvo length of 10. So like in the entire volley you've got a 35% chance of missing here. In the entire volley you're not going to miss here. Yeah, Apache ATAS, which is the one with stingers, which can be useful. Air, so this is pretty common. Eagle, HE bomber. That's how it goes. This is super cost efficient since they buff the range of the sparrows, so some people fit this in, but you'd have to get rid of something important, right? Because you do, because like this 2-point slot, but you do need a bomber. Some people just run 3 cards of fighters, but what happens if the enemy has a breakthrough? Well, bring the helicopter. Well, sometimes you really do just need this. You don't use it offensively. Some games you won't even buy it. But if the enemy breaks through, you need this. You need a bomber. So that's it for the deck reviews. Now we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk a bit about the map. Basically, blue's on the good side because Gregory's massive. So there's center, right? And blue gets more ground in center, and he gets this building in center, so he can shoot all the way down that road, right? And you can see up this road. Buildings are useful. And then there's the case that Gregory is just way easier to attack than Anna because of how big the zone is, and the forward deployment meets at about here. And yeah, that's all there is to it, really. In terms of the matchup, it gets even worse for 39Y because 101st Airborne is a div that wants to spread out and just kind of be everywhere, and this map's massive. That's one of the reasons a lot of people complained about it, because their brains just, aren't big enough to keep the whole map in their brain. I really liked this map, and I was very sad to see it go. I think all they had to do was just make this smaller, just cut this so it ends here at that road, and then there you go, it's an okay map. But no, too many complainies, too many. We need to get people to eat more cod liver oil or something because the IQ is too low. Keep losing these wonderful maps. Anyway, this map's really bad for 39Y because 39Y is a very narrow division. It wants to just stick to an area and just grind that area constantly. Get the cubs set up, buy the T80 BVs, go forward, shoot, go back, go forward, shoot, go back. And 101st is the complete opposite. If you fight just like head-on with 101st and 39Y, the 101st player should lose. Obviously, it depends on player skill and so on. And so the 101st player wants to constantly be flanking around, constantly going around the sides, using the helicopters, right? Using the mobility of the helicopters. And the superior air force in the form of the Eagles. But yeah, I mean, what can I say? So really rough matchup for 39Y. Anyway, let's have a look at the deployment. So we've got the Max Vet Delta Force coming in here, so he'll get here super duper fast. Look how deep he's going, because not only is he Max Vet Special Forces transported and Airborne Forward Deployed, but 39Y doesn't get Airborne Forward Deployed, he only gets Recon Deployed. And the Recon Deployed that he brings is in the Gas, which goes at 90 instead of 100, so it's even slower. And its off-road speed's a little worse. So yeah, super good deployment from blue. And then, yeah, that's a lot of guys. So 2 aerial rifle dragons, 1 for mid, 1 for here. That's going quite deep, because that's not actually an airborne, that's not a forward deployable unit. So it's going quite deep there. And then 4 pivads. So 1 for each side, and then 2 in the town. That's interesting. I mean, I was going to say, you need another Delta Force. So he's got another Max Vet Delta Force, and that's coming into here. So he's going to just try and deploy the whole zone, basically. And then we've got a 2 Vet Delta Force in not the Special Forces transport, so that won't go as fast. And he's just got that defending Anna, and then sending the grenade launcher around to here, so it can shoot targets coming down the road. Got the Kiowa with the... somebody sent me a message saying that you're disrespecting Native Americans when you call it the Kiowa, because it's pronounced Kiowa, and that's offensive to their culture. You know what I think would be offensive to their culture? Taking over their entire country, making them live in a desert somewhere, like they're in a zoo, and then naming things after them. Anyway, New Mexico moment. And then Aero Toe 2s, right? One for the cool building I spoke about, and one for the church here, because religious people could see further than atheists. So that would be able to shoot down the thing, but because it's so far away from the front, like that, this would just be a better position, basically. But then you wouldn't be able to shoot people over here, so maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. He's a very high-ranked player, so. And a CV for Anna, Boris Center. And no CV for Dmitry Gregory. Switching to his opponent's deployment, I can only assume he's bought a plane, because there's not that much here. So he's got a recon helo going straight for Anna, so that's interesting. And yeah, he's got motorized Razvedka and the Razvedka BMP-1P, unloading and then sending the vehicle there. This one's unloading and sending the vehicle there. So he actually wants to like aggressively attack Anna, which is quite surprising given the division. And then an Igla, a 30mm grenade launcher, and a CV for Elena, and then presumably Anna if he gets there. Oh, sorry, I just heard the ice cream van. Yeah, it is the ice cream van. Anyway, CV for Fedor Gregory, Razvedka Saperi and the Gaz, as we spoke about. So I don't think he's going to get there. Although this might actually just go all the way down here by the time, they might pass each other. And then an Igla, a Motostrelki Metis, a Saperi RPO, and a BMP-2. And presumably a plane, because he doesn't have a lot here. Anyways, let's find out. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners. Generously joiner in the channel. They get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest level is worth an early air engagement. The Eagle is running away because there's two jets on him. I think he should have dived there, I don't know, or retreated earlier, because obviously this is pretty fast, and he just got shot in the back there by two planes. So he does lose the Eagle, which is... that's like 275 points. So that's not fantastic at all. And what that does is that frees up the helicopter. So these jets are going to take out the helo there. And this thing should really kill the Delta Force quite quickly. And there's no AA. There's no... like, because there were 4 PIVADs here and nothing here, so... bit of a mistake in the deployment, but you see the issue with the so like the guns can't even shoot because it has to turn the whole helo. So like this gun can shoot because it's on a turret, but the other ones can't because they're on gun pods. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's shooting now. So yeah, it's kind of tough, but he sees it. So Humvee getting hit by the Su-27, second Eagle purchase now. And so the Eagle gets the Su-27, which you'd expect now that the Eagle ranges have gone up on the guns. Before it was kind of the other way around. And this one just wasn't in the right place, basically. So you see he's trying to micro this in such a way that he can kill people. With, I mean, it's still live, but it's very low HP. Crucially, this guy can get in the zone, which that's kind of the whole point. So, first minutes, second minutes purchases coming in. Here, sorry, I just wasn't looking. So the motorized Razvedka had been caught up by the Delta Force. The Humvee's running away. Red still has air superiority. Helicopters chasing the Humvee. And these guys went right past each other as I posited. So this Delta Force went too deep. Instead of stopping in the church to secure his ingress, came all the way down here. And then the Saperi just went up this road. So they just passed each other. Does get... something there. Anyway, another Eagle's been purchased. Oh, this will be the first one. And yes, you would expect the Eagle to beat the Maulding MiG, considering it's like, 100 points more. But the Igla hits it. So that's because he put this next to the Igla, so it makes it, super vetted. Anyway, Blue's got mid. Blue's not got Gregory. And Blue... doesn't really have Anna. You see the Razvedka BMP-1 moving up here. You can hear the sound of the PIVADs killing all the infantry. So what he needs to do is just get this out and then use a BMP-2 to kill them because it outranges them, and stop running the infantry into them because that's what they're sort of made to kill. And so yeah, this is kind of a weird situation from Blue, where his deployment his deployment went too far. Whereas if he'd stopped in here, I think he would have killed a lot of this in the transports and got the pivads in. And it was kind of weird with the pivads. I mean, obviously that works, right? So there goes the helo. But you only needed one here to do that, and like pivads in the town because the enemy just run. You know, if they get right on top of them, they can kill them. Pivads in the town doesn't make too much sense. It would have been better to just bring infantry, you know. Anyway, good play from ISI here. He's got Motorized Rozvedka into Boris, so anybody who comes up this road should get shot by the RPG. Delta Force with one guy, but the grenade launcher can't shoot back because minimum range, because it's like a weapons team. So the Delta Force simultaneously firing the Colt Commando in his left hand and the M249 SAW in his right hand. Sadly, he wasn't in range to shoot him with the sniper as well. He does manage to take out that 30 mil there. You'd expect the Motorized Rozvedka to get in with 7 guys. But the main issue here for Blue is that he can't... Well, okay, this is kind of in a weird place, right? Because the guys come down here, so this would just shoot them when they get to there. So it's better to put it, like, here to use the range and the ATGM, basically. You gotta watch out for the dumb foliage, but yeah, like there you go. Right, that would work. Or up to here, because otherwise... Well, okay, he's not going that way. Tow Cobra was shooting the BMP-2 here, but the Su-27 came out and shot it, so that must be the second one, because the first one died. You see that this has gone on low altitude, because it doesn't want this to hit him. And here we go, so CV duel coming on here. This has a 10% motion accuracy, so it's not going to hit, as you would expect. You stopped it now, though. Helo goes down, and there you go, it hits him. And Su-27 gets that crit there, which force evacs him. But you would kind of you would hope the Eagle would win that fight. I mean, it is more expensive. But Warno RNG being what it is, I mean, usually what would happen is they'd both survive actually at that range, but because he got that crit, just immediately evacs, we couldn't fire more. Maldin MiG sent out. It's just going for the helo, but the Eagle's still up, so it goes down to the Eagle. So that was avoidable basically. I mean, you knew this was here because it killed your other plane, so it's not ideal. But ISI is on a plus 12 because he's taken Dmitry and Anna, even though he lost the CV. And Boris. He's bringing up some more guys now. This Delta Force is still here, though, but this can't one-shot the BMP-2. You need 18 pen to do that, so he should be able to unload in time if he's paying attention. So yeah, he's on a plus 12, so... And now he's going to try and get into center, but that will take him past the Tow Cobra. So the BMP-2 is in range, and he should smoke there, but... Yeah, it gets it. I mean, you'll note that the BMP-2 was upvetted, and that's just BMP-2 moments. So, he's not really paying attention here. Like, he should have unloaded these. Anyway, he's probably looking over here. So now he's got to send that one back into Dmitry, but it's okay, because he's got a CV coming for center, and that's a plus 3. So, sacrificial bomber here, which, I mean, there's 2 Eagles there, so that, you know, just really wants to kill this 65-point Aero Rifles Dragon, I guess. But the idea, I guess, is that he's trying to buy time. But here we go. So DotSpy, he's not hiding with this. He's fighting. And that means that the enemy CV might shoot him again. This CV went down to the Dragon, so he didn't manage to get in there. But it's still 48 seconds for red. And blue, like, he needed another CV in here, basically. But I don't know if he could have afforded it, because he bought 2 Humvee CVs at the start, and they're gone now, so he had to buy this third one. So those are all 3 of his Humvee CVs. So the only other CVs he's got, to my knowledge, are infantry... Yeah, the infantry helicopter one, which he could have used to secure Boris, actually. But yeah, he just keeps running... He's trying to get this past, but it's taking him past all the red stuff, so... I mean, will he make it? But then he's going to leave the zone. And he can't afford to leave. He doesn't have time. He just doesn't have time to do anything. So yeah, pretty funny game. And completely the opposite of what you would expect, honestly. Because 101st on that map, it's like the best map. It's probably one of the worst maps. I was going to say in rotation. It's not even in rotation anymore. It's one of the worst maps for 39Y. So yeah, credit to ISI, who's called Fob for Oversized Boobs. Okay. And he plays a lot of 39Y. And this is DotSpy, who's ranked 22 at the moment, right? So yeah, good outplay from for Oversized Boobs. Wonder what that's all about. There's definitely more than 4 of them in FOB. Anyway, pretty good play from ISI there. Completely turning the tables. I guess the 101st player just didn't expect it. And frankly, I didn't either, because that's not what's supposed to happen. But hey, this is Warno. Anyways, I'll see you around. GG.